What's up, Steeler Nation? We are the Observers, Smo and Chris this evening here to recap last week's game. Two-game losing streak. Smo, what did you observe?
Some nonsense, man. Some same old carryover from the last game, pretty much, right? Like a defense that is just like getting ravaged with injuries, couldn't stop. I don't know how. Well, I know how we were in the game. Dak tried to give us the game multiple times.
Mhm.
Um, but we gave up 400 some yards. I mean, they moved the ball at will. They should have easily scored 30 plus points on us and it not been a game whatsoever. So it's hard to, I don't know, it's just like hard to look at that game and take any good from it.
Yeah, how do you have three turnovers, a blocked field goal, and you still lose that game?
They I don't know, man. Yeah, like the offense, I thought the offense would do something. Like I thought it found something against the
Hmm.
Colts.
Yep.
Um, and then they just come out and like they can't run the ball whatsoever against the one of the worst rush defenses in the league. They don't even try, like they didn't even try to like do some like get in rhythm passing until Kyle Allen gets in the game. Like Kyle Allen
Right.
gets in the game, of course he hands off because that's what you expect the backup to do. And then he throws like a strike to Muth over the middle for a big gain, and instantly Fields comes back in, and it's like, oh wow, the middle of the field and quick passing's wide open, and he marches right down the field with like four quick passes, and
Yeah.
then we stop doing it.
Why did it take so long? And honestly, I saw a lot of missed opportunities. That game was there for us to
Oh yeah,
win, similar to what we had with Indy. I mean, how many drop passes were there? That early pass to Connor where he couldn't bring that in. Man, if that ball's on the money, there was no one near him. He scored.
yeah. See here, this is what I'm talking about with the Russell Fields conundrum. Why that I hate that we had this quarterback thing for another year, and it's got to be this like back and forth thing. And
Hmm.
why I'm like, if they weren't a good enough team to win right now, I would be all in on Justin. Like use this year to like it was clearly shown that he can win some games to coach him up, have him see if he can improve. He's obviously become a better player here than he was in Chicago.
Yeah.
Of just like managing the game and just not losing it for you and like takes care of the ball. He's but still makes plays. But like Russ is just he's a Hall of Fame quarterback, dude. He's just that much more of an accurate passer. Like, does the play to Hayward not get slightly overthrown? Does the third and four that Pickens still should have caught anyways, and we'll get to him, I'm sure. Still should have caught anyways, but I will give some benefit of the doubt in that he was wide open on an out route and the ball was thrown high and behind him. Like if you're running an out this way and the ball comes back this way and you got to, he still should have caught it. It went through his hands.
Yeah.
But I tend to believe that Russ puts that on his chest and it's a first down and he walks out of bounds for a first down. Like it's that simple stuff that he's just like not comfortable doing. Like we see it all the time. It's the throwing it 100 miles an hour on a screen or like ripping it down the seam to a tight end when he just needs a little bit of touch. Like that kind of stuff needs coached up.
Yeah, he did miss Darnell, and maybe those live reps help him develop. Honestly, how else is he going to learn? So it's still tough for me. So are you saying like right now, at this point, you'd like to see Russ come in?
I want to see it. Yeah, I want to see it. Like he went out and signed the dude for a reason,
Hmm.
and like getting Fields as well was never the plan. It was just like a Kenny didn't want to be here, and they quickly made a swap and were able to get him. Like your first maneuver of the offseason was signing Russell Wilson to be your starter. And like I still go back to I get it as a preseason, like just that one play in the preseason where he sat in the pocket and Pickens runs across the field. He didn't scramble out. He wasn't afraid of like getting sacked. He read scanned the entire field and then just hits him on a crosser on the opposite sideline. And like no quarterback has been able to do that for the Steelers since then. And that's still the case. Like I think Justin reads like his first read, sometimes his second, and like that's it. Like I don't see him scanning the entire field, making the right decision because he's missing guys. They show the replays, and I'm not an NFL guru, but like I see the replays. He misses the same open routes that Kenny did. They're like, oh, he chucks it into double coverage downfield to Van Jefferson when he's got a wide open receiver over here on the left that he just completely missed. And that's the shit that we got on Kenny for last year. Like, oh, you missed this wide open, you didn't see it. He's not seeing it
Hmm.
either.
He just holds the ball a little bit too long. Like he sees it and he doesn't let it loose.
Just get in rhythm. That one drive he did. Get into your
Hmm.
stop, like your drop, and just let it go. Like so, these guys have. We don't have the best receivers, but like NFL open, man. There's a window, I'm sure.
I feel like the play calling has been decent though. Like we've had guys open, we've had opportunities. So a couple of misses, like the one we talked about with Connor, then the other one to Darnell. I mean, that would
Van
have been
Jefferson
nice
had that
too.
drop on the sideline.
Dude, Jefferson had a couple of drops. That last one, like it looked like he almost got hurt. You're a professional athlete. Like, how the fuck do you do that? And then the other thing is the way that he dropped it, it didn't go out of bounds. It came back inbounds. If there was a safety over top of him, that would have been a pick. I just don't
Yeah,
understand why we had those deep balls. Like, we kept trying to force it to Van Jefferson.
I don't know, man.
Like some point was trying to be made. I don't know, but we tried
I
to
don't.
establish him in that game and it just did not work.
I don't know what we're doing at the receiver position. Like I've heard the people talk about it this week about like is Roman going to get in? And they keep talking about he had no preseason and you got to get ramped up on a moving bus. Like, did you see this dude Brandon Johnson caught a pass for us?
Yeah.
Who the fuck
Yeah.
is that guy?
Yeah. Stop with that getting on a moving train. I'm done with
I
that shit.
I had never
Get
heard of that. I didn't
him.
even know this guy was on the roster. And he catches a ball
Mhm.
for 9 yards. I was
I
like,
think he just
who?
I think he just got elevated from the practice squad, is what they said.
We can't play our second round draft, third round draft pick, but this dude just pops up out of nowhere and is running routes. I don't get it.
Yeah, the coaching staff for the Steelers are way more patient than what the fans are. We can easily, I think it's safe to say that, right?
Yeah, and I don't the it's just and they also just the insistence of on playing these tight games like this. Like first quarter, they played for that field goal. It was like 3rd and 8, already in Boz's range,
Hmm.
and they threw like a toss to not even Najee. It was like the backup running back. Like, can we do something at the sticks and try and like score a touchdown on this drive? Like, why are we already giving up in the first quarter and just settling to make this a 3-3 game? It's
Mm.
just like shit like that. I don't get it.
It'd be
And not
nice to
having a
see.
timeout at the end. We wasted all 3 timeouts in the second half. We know we're going to be playing a close game, and we just waste timeouts for no reason.
One of those timeouts, we had like 12 men on the field, so we had to call that one.
That's just a
But
5 yard
gosh,
penalty.
it's
Take the
just,
5 yard penalty.
I think with where they were on the field, I can't remember, but if we're going to talk about the defense, where would we even start?
Beanie Bishop.
Yeah, he had a few bright moments, but a lot more dark moments. It was not pretty for him.
He just
Dak picked.
doesn't. He doesn't seem like he knows the defense. Like
I feel like
he's
he
he's
reacted too slow.
he's getting
Like
cooked. Well, I'm like he's an undrafted rookie, man. Like, and
he's
wasn't he like a
fast.
5 year player in college too? Like,
Yeah,
it's
but
not like
he's
he's
also
gonna
fast. What do you run?
get
Like a
better.
4.39. So
Okay, I
my
saw
thing
tight ends
is,
cooking him.
my thing is, it's like he lets the player cross his face, get a step, and then he starts running. And I don't know. I just feel like he's got to be quicker to react. Like Turpin burnt him how many times?
Oh my word!
Or
And I don't know. Like, he's clearly not gonna play when Sutton's back. So like you got 3 more games of being like a starter at that slot position.
mhm.
Um, but I don't know. I really thought they would have brought back like Pat Pete or someone who like knew. I would much rather you be in position and know where to be than just like fast and not knowing what you're doing. Like
and
that, there was that
lost on the
one play
field.
where his back was turned because he didn't realize that he covered the wrong person, and like it was like he was in zone and everyone else was playing man, and then
Hmm.
he just like CD didn't even have to block him because he just wasn't even paying attention. It's just
Yeah.
it's bad. It's like a major weakness. And they said on the telecast that's probably why they called the timeout on the first lineup for the fourth down play because he was in the slot. Cover they had CD in the slot, and they were like, "Oh, but they called a timeout because they saw Beanie Bishop was covering CD Lamb, so we got to switch that up."
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
no, no, it's a problem.
Well, our two outside corners had picks. So Dante Stallworth had his. That was huge. Red zone pick. And then Joey Porter. I mean, that was a hell of a play, honestly. He just ran
Yeah,
that one down. So that was nice. So how are we feeling about our outside corners right now?
I mean they're better than what we've had in recent years, so like
Hmm.
that's great. Our problem at the moment is like we're built on getting to the quarterback, and we're down to our backup linebackers, our second linebackers hurt, third linebackers hurt. Liao, who I guess you would say is the fourth linebacker,
Yeah.
is hurt. So we've got Jeremiah Moon. They said that Isaiah Loudermilk might play some edge, and then some other guy that
Hmm.
we picked up. Like we're not getting to the quarterback again. It's just
Jeez.
not.
We have to move TJ around. Something's got to happen there because he's got
It's
to
just
stay
no.
involved.
It's just no matter how good you are at covering, if you can't get to the quarterback, someone's eventually going to be open. This just is like you want to like we could like blame corners and like the soft zones we play, but like the whole team's built on TJ and Highsmith and these guys like rushing the quarterback. Like you can't expect like Patrick Queen and Peyton Wilson to cover like legit tight ends and receivers for extended periods of time. It's just not how it works. Someone's going
Speaking
to
of
be open.
Patrick, speaking of Patrick Queen, what are your thoughts?
I mean, he seems to. I don't know how much of it is like, what do we expect out of him? Like he's always up there in tackles. He seems to be in position, but it's like that position in today's NFL and our defense is not suited for like making splash plays. You know what I mean? Like he should be up at the line tackling some runs. He's going to have to cover from time to time. I don't expect him to make interceptions, but like just be in position. He seems to be in position.
I see him
Um,
frustrated a lot. Like
I'm
he's near a play where a drive gets extended and he's just like, damn it, like what the hell? Like
yeah.
I see a lot of frustration out of him.
I mean, I think like it's more so like the last game was more so like the D line struggles. Like it's got to be tough when like the D line can't hold up its end of the bargain when you're a inside linebacker like that.
But
Like,
who is it? Because Cam Hayward on PFF, he's ranked number one.
oh man, Cam got blown up on the 4th and 1 play to win it. Go watch that replay and see him fall on his ass. Um, well, I mean, they're not. There's so many times like the rotations they play. Like, if Cam's not in there, like they're done. Like Mon Adams is just a guy. Loudermilk's awful. Ogunjobi, I think, like starting to hurt his foot again. Like, he's great one game, terrible the next. Just I don't know. Like Dean Lowry was in there a bit.
Mm.
Like they're just outside of an old man Cam. They're not deep that position.
But see, the D line was supposed to be one of our strengths. And I'll say this, Loudermilk actually, he batted down a pass. He also had that blocked field goal. That was him. He made a couple of plays. And actually, when Landon Roberts went airborne and made that stop, he was actually right there too. So
Mm,
Loudermilk actually wasn't bad in that game. I don't with the D line, I don't know. I don't know. I'd have to go back and watch it, but I can't tell what the hell happened. We got manhandled.
oh
They ran
yeah,
all over
big
us.
time.
That
I mean, part of
89
it
yard
was
rush.
all the. I mean, they were thin. Like look at the snap counts now. Like even, if it's just TJ and Cam out there,
Hmm.
you know, like even Ogunjobi only played 15 snaps. He played 20% of the defensive snaps. So like that's a starter gone. Um, Benton's out there for 60%. Benton can't like Benton. I haven't heard Benton's name much. Like we were expecting a big jump from him. Like,
True.
and I would like to see a little bit more growth there. I'm not gonna slam a second year guy, but like, want to see a little jump. But like the
Hmm.
defense though, like Pat Queen played 100% of the defensive snaps. He played 76 snaps. Like their defense played 58 snaps. That's 18 more plays. Our guys were out there and just couldn't get off the field. Couldn't get off on third downs. They were just gassed, just torched.
And they gave us the ball so many times. Like they,
Oh my God.
like people can say, "Oh man, the defense that was a letdown." But in all honesty, what more do you want whenever you're giving the offense the ball? The offense just once again couldn't take advantage of opportunities. We
No.
turned one of those turnovers, I think, into a touchdown. But outside of that, we didn't do much else with it. So, and then to stick with us, we had some other issues on the offensive side of the ball. What's up with our boy George Pickens?
Oh man. I'm like, I'm kind of just over it personally. I don't,
I can't understand how he dropped that pass for one, with all the circus catches that he makes. Like he'll make the circus catch, but then the routine plays hits you in the hands. It's just like he loses focus. But why are you losing focus when you're playing for a contract, when you're playing to be a number one receiver? Like the attitude, man, don't you? And then I heard that he was fined like around $200,000 last year. Like, aren't you trying to recoup some of that money? Why would you do anything to lose money? It doesn't benefit you in any kind of way. Like, how are you emotionally just that immature that you can't hold it together and just be a professional?
yeah. I mean, I don't know, man. Like he's like any other receiver and that he'd probably be fine if he was getting touches and performing.
Yeah.
So I get like a lot of it's probably born out of frustration, but it's just so annoying. Like you haven't accomplished a thing, dude. Like towards the tail end, we put up with like AB's antics because he was putting up 120 catches and 1,500 yards a season and was like putting in max effort. He was running his mouth, but like you never questioned AB's effort on the field and like until he quit on the team. But like
Yeah.
all those years
So he
when he
legit
was putting
quit.
up numbers and like going 100% on every route, whether he was getting the ball or not. Like
Hmm.
this dude is just like checked out of plays, lollygagging from one route, not blocking. It, it sucks. Like he clearly has talent, and like I thought from the early beginnings, like there was like some connection there with Justin. So like
Hmm.
I've got a QB who can throw. Like Kenny had more of a connect. Like Kenny and George on those back shoulder throws were money. That was like the one thing that Kenny was amazing at, and like we don't even do those anymore.
Ah, there have been plays to George that have been called back, and this pains me to say that stuff that I said earlier because I'm a huge Pickens fan, but I have to be realistic in critiquing him because it just wasn't good on Sunday. It was a bad look. You're on national television. This was your spotlight, and this is how you decided to show up.
Yeah,
So there were a lot of plays. I think frustration is a big piece of it, and then he just gets checked out, and then the ball comes to him, and he's just like he's like not there, and you have to stay locked in regardless. But the offense has to get into some kind of flow so that you got everybody engaged, and I can just see where he's just not in it, and it sucks to see it because he's a hell of a talent.
yeah. I mean, they also just can't. They desperately need Warren and Cordell Patterson back.
Yeah.
Like to just go back. They, and we talked about it before the year too of like who's going to get hurt this year, and it's amazing that it's like multiple people. If you just go
Hmm.
back to the Colts game of like that one series where Cordero Patterson was just ripping runs. And it's like, oh man, like we found something here. Maybe he's only gonna be hot this game, but like clearly he's seeing it where Najee isn't, and then he gets hurt. And then we're like
Yeah.
right back to like not being able to run. And like
Hmm.
Jalen can't see the field, can't get back on the field. It's like that, like we're missing so much talent. Um, yeah, because not like Najee's really struggling here. I don't know if it's O line, if it's him, if it's a combo of both, whatever it is, they can't run the ball.
That run game is pathetic. All the moving pieces on the O line, shit. Sayamalu, he got knocked on his ass whenever Fields
Oh
got
yeah,
blown
that
up.
fumble. Yeah.
I mean, you would never expect that from Sayamalu. Now, this was his first game back, but good grief. That's your leader on the line. So once you see that, you're like, oh boy, we're in for one. But it's tough because we could have very easily been 5-0. And to watch us squander that, and then you got another division rival tie us up. It's a tough one to watch.
Yeah, man, can't be giving away games. Like,
Yeah.
like right now, they're just like staring at it again of like 9-8, 10-7. Are we going to like have the right tiebreakers to get in
Yeah.
when you could have just like easily sealed up? And let's say like 5-0 is tough, but either one of these games was winnable. Like they should at least be 4-1 right now.
Hmm. Hmm.
So just is what it is. Got to get it back
But
now.
we have an opportunity to go 4-2 on Sunday. We go back to Vegas. I wish that was a game we were going to. That last one was fun, but
Mm-hmm.
who the hell is Aiden O'Connell?
I remember him from being at Purdue.
Okay.
Um, I don't know if he even, let's look it up real quick here. Was he even drafted? Yeah, he was a fourth round pick in 23, 6'3", 210, 26 years old. He went 5-5 last year, 12 TDs, 7 picks.
He's
This
got a
year
big
he's
arm, doesn't
this year he's 19 of 32, one touchdown, one
he?
interception. I mean, his average yards per attempt last year was 6.5. In his time this year, it's been 5.5. Like he's not good. They they should not lose this game. So that probably means they will.
Yeah, I mean, we shouldn't, but you know how that goes.
He against Denver went 10 of 20 for 94 yards, no touchdowns, one pick.
Hmm.
So yeah, they should not lose to Aiden O'Connell. So
Here's hoping, but who knows when it comes to us, man.
well, we lost to
When we're,
Dorian Thompson Robinson and plenty others over the years.
yeah, those games where it's like obvious we should win, go against the Cowboys without Michael Parsons, DeMarcus Lawrence, somehow, find a way to lose that game. Can't move the ball, miss out on opportunities. I think that if we're just sharp, if we just execute, then we'll win the game. And we should win the game handedly because given those turnovers that we got, given the blocked field goal, had we executed on plays, I feel like we have a pretty good game against the Cowboys. But if we're able to tighten up against the Raiders, which who knows what's going to happen, you would expect it, but it's us. So I
Maybe.
don't even know how to call this one. I don't know what to say anymore.
I mean, look, the Raiders
We need
were
to just
up.
get.
They were up 10-0 against Denver at the end of the first quarter last week, and they lost 34-18. So they went up 10-0 and then got outscored
Hmm.
34-8. And they only scored their last touchdown with 4 minutes left in the game. So really they were up 10-0 and then down 34-10. Like this
Mhm.
isn't a good team. It's not a good team.
I would pray that Aiden O'Connell can outsmart our secondary because communication issues like between Porter and Minka, Dante Jackson and Minka, like those things can't happen. Like Herbert got us, I believe Flacco got us, Dak got us, and you can't let Aiden O'Connell make this secondary look bad.
No.
This defense is paid way too well, and you
This
just simply
is
you can't afford that anymore.
It's must win. Yeah, I mean the highest paid defense. It's must win right now, and then they got two primetime games at home following that that are very winnable as well. Like if you, I think that gets us to where I had us at 6-2 at the break. Um, just swapping that Colts and Falcons losses. So that's why I'm trying not to get too down. Like I knew they're going to lose some games, and when they lose games, that you lose for a reason. Either you didn't show up or you kicked yourself, got in your own way. So it sucks that we lost two winnable games. But like this is where I had us 3-2. You have three very winnable games upcoming. Two of which are
Mhm.
against teams that are AFC. That helps your tiebreaker scenario. Like you got to make it happen. These next three.
Yeah, it's this and then the two New York teams. Is it Jets, Giants after that?
Yep.
Yeah, we got to win those. Although the Giants, they played all right. And then
Giants are
who
looking
knows?
better. Yeah. The Jets, you never like Jets have a good defense. I could see that game being a classic struggle, but like their offense has not been able to do anything. They just fired their coach. Like, come on, just take care of business.
It's still Aaron Rodgers and, smart. Gosh, I just hope that Herbig isn't out very long, or we can at least get Highsmith back. One thing I will say is that how nice is it to see Herbig and Watt meet at the quarterback? Because it happened a couple of times. I feel like it happened the game prior too. But those two meeting right at the quarterback is pretty sweet to see.
Yeah, we need him back.
Yeah,
We
desperately.
need everyone back.
Yeah, I feel like
They're just decimated.
this team gets healthy. I think after the bye week, then we may be humming. Like how they said, our schedule is really tough towards the second half of the season. The way things are shaking out, you never know. We thought that the Browns were going to be better. We thought the Bengals were going to be way better than what they are. We could be all right. I think, no, I'm not going to say it. No more predictions. No more optimism. I'm just going to wait and see. I'm chilling.
What
So,
uh what kind of score you got? How do you think it's gonna shake out?
oh, good grief. Like maybe 17-16
Oh my
us, I would
God.
hope. I'm not, listen, I have
And at
no,
this point,
I'm
there's
no
been
longer,
no so Russell's been a full participant this week for the first time. Um,
mhm.
I don't there hasn't been any inclination, no announced starter yet, no inclination that he'll be the starter. Um, so this could be Justin's like last opportunity. If there's then it's such an awkward spot. Like I feel like if you
Mhm.
truly believe that Russ is your starter, like this is the game to bring him back, not against the Jets defense. Um, so I don't know. I mean, it seems to be they're leaning towards Justin again. God, I hate that we're back in this position for another year.
I think I'd like to see Justin be the long-term option. I'm not gonna lie. I'd like to see him be the future. If
I
he
would
could,
too.
excuse me, if he could continue to develop, I mean, he gets to sit there, watch Russ, like some of those passes where he's throwing lasers, where he could use some touch, learn from it. Just as long as you learn from it, man. And I feel like he can, but let me shut up because every time I get optimistic, then they prove me wrong.
He's
So,
been he's been good, man. Like he's been good, and that's with like not. I mean, let's be honest here. He's been good with zero running game and a different offensive line every week. One receiver, if you call it that, and like being shackled a bit in the offense.
mhm.
So like, can they ease into it? I keep going back to like Arthur Smith's offense turned Ryan Tannehill into a guy who threw 54 touchdowns in 2 seasons. Like I keep going back to that. Like clearly the guy knows how to run an offense, and that wasn't all just Derrick Henry. Like you still had to execute the plays. Like Ryan Tannehill was almost done with his career until Arthur Smith showed up and like turned that team into something. So
I think it's there. Like we said, we've seen the plays. Plays have been there. We just haven't executed on it. So let's keep plugging along, get better as the season goes. And oftentimes, we get worried and then all of a sudden Steelers turn it around. So fingers crossed it happens again, but We'll see. But
Um, I'm going to let's see. I mean, I think we win, and I want to be optimistic about it. Like, I just think we're a better team than the Raiders, and like the offense go like Kenny threw 2 touchdowns against them last year. Like, we're just a better team this year, even with some of the injuries.
mhm,
Maybe like a the defense is so injured.
yeah,
Maybe like a 27-16, something like that.
27. Damn. I
Yeah.
would every time I give us 27, we have it's there. We don't execute on it, and
Yeah. I
then
mean, I don't think the Raiders are that good as a team. They just gave up 30 something to the Broncos. Like, I think we can do that too. We if George doesn't fumble in the Indy game, they put up 30 that game. They basically put up 30 against the Chargers. Like, we kneeled on the ball at the 1 with 20. Like, it easily could have been 27. Like, it's there for the taking. Like,
mhm,
27. And like, can we not come out flat for once? Can we score in the
please.
first quarter? First drive would be amazing.
Yeah, didn't we score the first drive in the second half? I think we did.
Maybe.
I think we did. I think we had our scripted drive. There you go, Grant. Suck it. He was giving me so much shit for that. Oh my goodness. Please execute, man. Gosh, I mean, for the audience, I live in Dallas. I was out in Dallas watching that game, and I had a good time, but plenty of people talking shit. And the way that ended, that was painful, man. So, hoping that we can turn around, execute, and we'll see.
This is it.
But
This is a must
that's all I
win.
got. Yes, sir. All right, dude. Well, talk to you on Sunday.